I think that we even have to go as far as when I think about my biological father and I think about how he had never grown up around any really soft and loving women outside of his grandmother, who he wasn't always privy to. He craved those types of loving and soft and nurturing relationships because that's what he never had, and that was his ideal type of relationship. So, my mother being one that was always kind of like raw, uncut, spicy, I think that he was really wanting to try to make her that. And this is one thing that we got to be so mindful of. Like, we can't change our partner to be a mold of our ideal person. We have to accept them where they're at and understand that if they don't change, this is who you're dealing with. But we still can tend to try to place our person in the mold and make them this like this caricature or this totem or this symbol of what it is for us to love and be loved and for us to attain um, this peace and this stability and this security, right? So, um, looking at him now, and this is the thing, like comparison for research purposes, it's important. Sometimes you do need to compare things to be able to understand deeper the nuances. And the marriage that he is in now, it's been 15 years just about, and the softness that his wife embodies, um the supportiveness, even down to like the way that she relates to him, her tone, um, the way that she brings things to him. I can tell that that this is probably the happiest he's ever been because this person was not somebody that was curated. She was already that way, and he just helped accentuate those qualities. Because honestly, I think she did the healing work. And when I met her, they were just dating, and I told my dad, I was like, really think that's your wife. And I think maybe he had mulled over the thought of it, but for me to tell him and for me to say, as his daughter, like, I think this is a good woman for you, and for me to co-sign her in that way, I think it made it very different. It was like, okay, okay. And then like 3 or 4 months later, after I had like returned back to my hometown, they ended up getting married. So those factors are super important. The way that you saw your parents loving on each other and how that directly affected you is super duper important and not something to be overlooked. Okay. Um, also kind of wanted to talk about the healing part because when we're in narcissistic abusive relationships, where we're in relationships where we're not honored as a person, we're in relationships where our feelings are disregarded, it is really easy to become jaded. Like, you know what, I'm not never doing that again because I don't want to feel that feeling again. And that's a part of nature. That's a part of our biology to protect ourselves. But when it turns into a situation where you can't get past those hurdles, you can't ever see yourself in a romantic relationship again. That's when there's healing work that must be done because you can kind of fall into that same pocket. Every relationship, the person's face is different, but it's the same spirit because you haven't asked yourself, what is it about me that said it was okay, that made it okay? Like, abuse victims constantly attracting abusers, it should make you say, what is it in me that accepts those patterns of behavior as normal? Um, that has embraced those patterns of behavior as normal life and um, can get over the hump of healing that's necessary to really truly be at peace with myself, even if I need to be alone, instead of embracing a relationship that brings me pain. So, like, that's a part of that healing work we're talking about. Allowing ourselves to take that moment. Because I think some people just roll around and from one relationship into the next, and they're bringing those toxic patterns and they're racking up baggage from each relationship because the healing hasn't happened before you venture into a new thing. And then that everybody's to blame, right? You're bleeding all over your new partner, you're bleeding all over your family and your friends, looking to justify why you aren't living at the quality of life that you believe you deserve and that you truly deserve. Because I believe all of us truly deserve a high and beautiful quality of life. But I think sometimes our actions and our decisions don't line up with the things we say we want. So I think those things are super important. And I think that getting as intensive as you need to be is the most important thing. Because some people have a little scrape, right? They put the Neosporin on and the Band-Aid, that's all you need. Some people need stitches. It's a deep wound. It needs to be cleaned out. It needs to be sewn up, you know? And then you have some people that there's third and fourth degree burns, and those layers of trust and those layers of malleability and those layers of humanness have kind of been burnt away because of those relationships. So now you're finding yourself questioning everything that you know in your heart is the healthy thing because that pain is just so intensive and there's been nothing to be done about it in so long that now the infection is festering in your body and is spreading throughout. So whenever you find yourself in a position to want to do better, to get the things you want out of life, your own self is in the way. Your own trauma is in the way of you getting to where you need to be. And ideally, I would tell you, oh, therapy is the way. You should go to therapy. But I know a lot of you are going to therapy, and a lot of you have remained in therapy, and you still haven't found fulfilling relationships. And it's because you not being honest with your therapist. For the longest time, I had been through a few therapists. I wasn't telling them about the abuse I went through as a child. I was not telling them about molestation. I wasn't telling them about emotional abuse I experienced in every relationship. I wasn't telling them about physical violence I experienced. I wasn't telling them about how invalidated I felt, how powerless I felt, how much of a people pleaser I was, how I didn't know how to say no at all, how unsafe I felt to my body because I didn't know at that time how to be safe with myself and how to navigate the emotions of the people around me. And so, what I'm saying to you is, I wasn't being truthful with my therapist. So, if you're not going to keep it real with your therapist, but what we doing? We just wasting money. So, I was going to see my therapist. Then I was dating, and I was doing the same shit. Like, I was doing the same thing in all of these different relationships. I was giving myself, I was loving, I was caring, I was cooking. What do you want? I'm going to do this for you. What's your favorite food? Let me go get it for you. I was just performing. I was so performative because I thought, okay, this is what you do in relationships, you perform. Because I had only ever been with narcissists and they perform on a daily basis. So I thought, oh, I'm going to be myself, but I'm just going to really lay it on thick. I'm going to really perform, and they're just going to love me and want me. But the reality is that when you're with the person that makes you feel complete and whole, this isn't a performance. It's real life. And you should not have to feel like you have to turn backflips and do everything right the person wants or they won't accept you. And if you don't do something right, one little thing, the person has a tantrum and just no longer wants to deal with you because you failed them in a way. They had a tantrum and no longer want to deal with you. I'm not a therapist, but I'm saying that that sounds like a narcissist because human nature is to fail and do better. Mountain, valley, mountain, valley, lesson, lesson. So that means that if I do something uh, to you or I do something in your direction and you feel as though I failed in your expectations, so now I need to be punished by you, that lets me know that you have abusive tendencies. And that lets me know that you're not ready for a partnership because partnership is not parenting. There isn't someone set up in the relationship that is designed to obey you 100%, no questions asked. Or there's some kind of reprimanding that goes on. But we tolerate that in relationships Oh, well, if you're not going to give me this and that, then I'm retracting this from you, or I'm stonewalling you, you know, or don't touch me, or I'm ghosting you for 3 days, you know, or I'm slandering. I'm about to go talk about you to your friends. I'm about to make up stories about you to tarnish your character until you start getting back on program. Those are narcissists. I didn't know because I grew up so sheltered and so unaware. I didn't know that those types of people actually existed. And because I didn't know, I easily fell victim. It changed my parenting style because now I'm very direct and I'm very clear with my daughters because I have daughters. And I let them know, hey, sweetheart, I just want you to know uh, this right here is unacceptable behavior from a man. This right here, what you're doing, is unacceptable behavior for a young lady. We have these conversations so I can set the precedence. Because I never want them to think it's okay for a man to hit them. Or I never want them to think it's okay for a man to talk down on them or tell them they can't do something or be confident because they shouldn't carry themselves that way. And I will never let a man put my daughters through that because my biological father, my father, is my biggest cheerleader. And he tells me every time I talk to him, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of what you accomplished. You just make me so proud. I'm so happy at what you're doing. I'm over the moon. It can be something little. He affirms me. So the crazy part is, we talk about choosing better partners. We also have to talk about valuing ourselves enough to know that we deserve better partners and holding ourselves up to a higher caliber of life, period, not just in our romantic relationships. Because like I said, everything everything is linear. So you want better in your relationships, you also should want better in your intimate relationships, you also should want better in your personal relationships, in your career, in the way that you're relating as a parent, how you are presenting yourself to the world. You're wanting better all you should want better all across the line. And so this is something that takes time, but this is something that you would want to focus on intently because you can look up and have a completely different life. I tell people this all the time. You can wake up in 2 years and be a completely different person, living your dream life because you believed that it was possible and you held yourself up to a standard that was so undeniable that you told God, I'm on board with what you have for me. I don't want to keep self-sabotaging. Every time things are going good for me, I connect with somebody toxic because it's familiar and it feels good because I don't know what good really is, but I know what hurt and abuse is. So because I've normalized it, it feels good to me. Sadly, that's a lot of people's truth. Well, I don't know how to love you correctly because I've never seen it. So it feels good to me to hurt you and to get a response and get a reaction from you because this is all I've ever seen take place. This is a pattern that I've seen as a child. This is what I've seen my mom and my daddy do. I've seen him slap her. I've seen him hit her. I've seen her push her against the wall. I've seen people come and remove us from the home so that they could fight. you know, I've been up at night couldn't sleep because I thought my mom was going to be dead. You know? So this is normal. So since this is the new norm, now this has got to be what I need to do to you. This has got to be how it's supposed to be. Cycles, no matter how toxic, can become normal. And that's the scary part. No matter how unsafe and how toxic can become normal. And this is why I say, in your quest to choose better partners, give yourself enough time to sit with them. Okay? Sit with them for a few weeks on the phone, have conversations. Sit with them for a few weeks and go to a few dates before the physical stuff. During the courting process, sit with them for a few months and see where their heart posture is at. Sit with them in prayer for a little bit and see how they relate to God. Do you even have a relationship with God? Or do you run to Him when you've done something wrong and you feel ashamed? Or is God your ace boon cooner? Is that, you know, you could do you have a friend in the Lord? Like, you know what I'm saying? or whatever your spirituality practice is, I found that if a man or woman doesn't have anything that they answer to, that's problematic. Because it's like, okay, I can do whatever. I can do whatever. Anybody gonna check me? Woo. I know good and damn well if I get crazy, if I turn up, if I act a fool, God is gonna set me down. God is gonna set a situation that set me down and put me in check every time. I'm not never been the one that could get away with nothing. I could not never get away with nothing. Okay? That's how God had me up by my shirt, like, what you doing? You already know. You already know. So that was always the precedence. But having partners that really held God to that esteem, really took the relationship serious and spirituality that was supposed to foundate the relationship. I did not have that. It was always a pomp and circumstance. It was always an act, you know. It was always, of course, I love, absolutely, I'm spiritual. But then you promiscuous, or you know, you're a womanizer. It don't go together. It don't. And you can't come into relationships telling people what they want to hear, to soup them up, to snatch them up, to pull them up into your program. And then you get them in your program and you run them up, because women do it too. Oh, yeah, I'm submissive. I'm going to cook it, I'm going to clean it, I'm going to make sure you have everything you need. But then they get you in your feelings, they put that, on you. And now everything that they used to, they don't do it no more because they got you. And now you're feeling away. My sisters do that too. And I'm not the type of person that gonna come straight with my brothers and don't won't come straight with my sisters. I'm just not that girl. Get somebody else to do it, because we doing this. We doing this. We pulling each other up. We snatching each other up and saying what you doing. We're doing that because we really can't afford to be without one another anymore. It used to be a time everybody could be independent. I'm doing me, la di da di da. Do you see what's going on in the world? We really truly need each other. Like, we do. We really do. And if you think that you don't need a supportive partner, just real talk. You need a survival buddy. I'm like, I'm trying to find my end of the world partner, baby. I'm trying to find my survivor. But look, if this get wrapped up like a lampshade tomorrow, okay, I'm trying to get myself together so I can have my survival buddy on the front lines. If you can't get over yourself enough to understand that a supportive partner will enhance your growth, we got a lot of work to do. Is all I'm saying. I was born alone, I will die alone. Do you really think you went through the whole process, came earthside to never leave your house, sis? Because I don't believe that you would go through all that to get here and be in your robe eating chocolate chunk. I believe that you have to apply yourself to life. If you want to get the most out of it, I believe that you have to know that you're here for a purpose and you have to seek it out. I don't believe you think it's just gonna show up to your door, and that's just not the way it works. And if that is the case, you still gotta open the door. Half of y'all don't wanna open the door. Y'all still peeking out the window. Still peeking out the window. So it's hard for me to believe that that's what we're talking about when I say unrealistic expectations. Sis said, I'm tired. I'm not dating anymore. I'm tired. He gonna have to bust my door down. Now he going to jail. If he do that, he going to jail. And he's not gonna be able to be your husband in jail. Cause we're not doing that. He's not gonna bust the door down, sis. You need to open the door up and you need to go outside and touch some grass sometime. You need to touch some grass. I'm tired. I'm so tired of hearing that. Oh, he's gonna have to rob me. He's gonna have to break, break through my window. He's going to jail, sis. It's called trespassing. It's called trespassing, baby. So please watch what you say. That ain't really what you mean. What you mean is that you've been dating wrong. You've been dating wrong. And it's time to start choosing better partners. And how you do it is by going through this list, being very intentional and doing that shadow work. Because you're missing that part. You are not showing up as yourself. I can guarantee you're not showing up as yourself at the grocery store, clutching and holding on to your purse, thinking somebody's going to get you, somebody's going to kidnap you. Kidnap you and do what with you? Kidnap you and do what with you? Okay? We got to get realistic. We got to start holding ourselves accountable. Ooh, it's a dirty word. We got to start holding ourselves accountable. We got to start holding space for healing. And we got to start today, not tomorrow. You really need to have your journal. You need to have your few of them. I got about 3 or 4 of them. You need to have your couple of journals because some of those emotions you're not going to want to speak about, but they are bubbling up and they are ready to come out. And you have the right to be free. You deserve it. You deserve to be free. You deserve to be able to sleep well at night with a clear conscience. And you deserve to be on the path of healing. So, thank you again. Season 3, episode 1, How to Choose Better Partners. Please run the episode back on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Please go back and listen if y'all caught me on the end part. Leave comments. You guys, tune into TikTok. I want to start doing the live episodes on TikTok just so y'all can see the process. This is a real podcast, y'all. you know. So yeah, get up with your girl. Keep going through the process with me. And if you're just now coming in on season 3, please go back to season 1, listen to all the episodes, so you can get caught up to where we're at. Because in June, I will have a private 7-session summer healing cohort, and I'm looking for 7 individuals that are ready to do the shadow work this summer for 7 weeks so that we can really pop out the right way. And maybe by fall and winter, we can start attracting those better, healthier partners to ourselves because we've done the work. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for supporting. Thanks for all the likes on TikTok. Thanks for all the people that gave me roses. And it is a wrap. Thank y'all and take care.